What's going on, everyone? We are back for some more F1 reactions. We've checked out Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz. Today we're going to be checking out Kimi Raikkonen. And all I know about this dude is that he is referred to as the Iceman. So my first time really looking at him, this will be my first interview with Kimi in it. Guys, if you like my stuff, by the way, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Let's get right into this.
Ultimate race of the 2018 season, and delighted to say we've got Kimi with us. Kimi, welcome back. Scene of a very famous victory for you many moons ago. Can you believe it's the last Ferrari World Championship?
Well, that's how it has turned out to be. So, you know, I'm sure in the future it will change, but that's what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's already given me like I don't give a shit energy off the bat. You know, in the first second of this video, while the guy is introducing him, Kimi's like off in his own world. Like, to me, he just seems like the opposite of a people pleaser. So to me, it's just sort of like the epitome of that I don't give a shit attitude and energy. And I can see a lot of people being drawn to that.
Are you sad to be leaving, or are you excited about the new challenge that awaits at Sauber?
I'm not actually very happy where I'm going, and you know, we'll see how it turns out to be. It's impossible to say now. You know, I heard many stories in the past that it's not gonna be good on many things, and you know, it's not.
There's sort of like a lightness about him when he's answering these questions, though. Like, you see, when he's talking about certain things, it feels like he has sort of a genuine smile that comes on his face. And I heard his nickname was the Iceman, so I was maybe expecting him to be completely closed off and completely cold. But you see some glimpses of what I can see to be some lightness and a little bit of a sense of humor here.
Pretty difficult years with struggling money, and now they're in a, let's say, safe place, and they try to hire the people back that they lost it on those times. So, you know, it takes time, but yeah, they've done a good job this year. So at least we'll see.
Cool. Right, some questions from some fans. How did you start racing?
He's finished answering a couple of his questions by saying, "We'll see. I don't know."
We'll see.
Cool.
He kind of has this attitude, it feels like, where he's just like, yeah, whatever happens, happens. I'm curious to know what his level of competitiveness is like.
Can't risk injuring yourself.
Well, I can do it. I don't know if people, maybe in my contract there's that I'm not allowed, but...
Do you not read the contract?
I don't care, you know. You need to do what makes you happy in life, and they know, and, you know, you can fall down on the stairs by accident and get hurt, so it's, you know, I'll do it. I don't really care. I never really cared. But
doesn't really care about what the contract says. I love it. I love that attitude. He doesn't really project his voice very loudly, right?
And get hurt, so it's, you know, I'll do it.
I think that might be a part of his personality as well. Like, he doesn't, going back to the people pleasing, he doesn't feel the need to like get his point across. Like, he doesn't. It's not so important for you to hear what he has to say. If you don't hear what he has to say, it doesn't really matter. It just really feels like he doesn't care at all about the validation from outsiders. And he just sort of marches to the beat of his own drum 100%.
Media. And one of the questions was, whose idea was it to go onto social media? Because famously, of course, you didn't for so long.
Yeah, nobody's really. I think we'll see what happens. And
didn't really answer that question, you know? You know, whose idea was to get on social media? Nobody really. We'll see what happens.
The thing, you have this whole aura about you and who you are. Is that the genuine Kimi? Do you have to act up to be that way?
No, I don't. I always try to do and live my life as I feel it's right for me, and you know, if I would try to live it, somebody else likes it, I think it would be a pretty miserable time. So
you got to respect that. It feels very honest from him, and I think part of why it feels so honest is because it's so clear that he's not trying to put it on for the camera. And I think when we get the sense that people aren't trying to put it on or people please or get some sort of validation, there's a sense of honesty there. And I've said this before on this channel, like, we don't like to be sold on things in general as human beings. Like if we sense that someone's selling us on something, we kind of put our wall up.
We try to get our things to get done, and sometimes there's confusions and stuff, but it's so what is part of our stuff, and
That was one of my
can
favorite
think
ones.
whatever they want.
This is a really interesting.
There you go. I think that's telling to his communication style as well. Just the last few words that he said there. Whatever, they can think whatever they want.
That was one of my
People can think
favorite ones.
whatever they want.
Again, all these indications of he doesn't really care what people think. And it's one thing to listen to the words and believe someone's words, but body language and tone make up the vast majority of communication in terms of how we perceive people, whether we trust them, whether we like them. So people can say, I don't really care what others think about me, but we're really like looking at their body language and tone when we're deciphering whether we believe that or not. And Kimi's words match up with his body language and tone. So I don't think people would really question whether he's being honest or not when he says, yeah, it doesn't really matter what people think.
This is a really interesting question, actually, and it's on that because your radio messages are in English. So when you're in the car and you're driving, do you think in Finnish and translate it to English, or are you thinking in English?
No idea. I don't think about those kind of things. So.
It doesn't feel like he overthinks much, or overanalyzes things. I find that inspiring because I'm overthinking almost everything, overanalyzing everything. So for me, seeing a guy like Kimi just kind of move through life without really overthinking things and feeling like he's just sort of going with his own intuition, he's not super hard on himself, to me, that's kind of inspiring in a way.
We know all Ferrari drivers have to speak a bit of Italian. How is your
No, I
Italian?
don't.
You don't speak any?
Maybe that's the reason I'm going. Finally.
How's your
They gave me like
That's
8 years
it,
time
yeah.
to learn it. And
You could tell he likes this dude, right? Kimi likes this guy. That right there was him taking the initiative to kind of have like a little bit of a bonding moment with him through a little bit of banter.
maybe that's the reason I'm going.
Like I said, there's a lightness to him, so he certainly has a likability about him as well.
For sure, the greatest. There's a lot of good movies, and I've seen a lot of them. Mostly when we travel in the
Yeah.
planes, there's not much else to do.
What'd you go for? Did you go
That's,
for action, comedy?
It
What is
doesn't
it?
matter, whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't care, right? He doesn't care. He's not the... Again, it's like this non-people pleasing attitude.
But
What
it
does it
doesn't matter,
matter?
whatever.
I'm going to say exactly what I feel is real. And you got to respect that. Some people might not like it because they might find his style of communication kind of harsh. And I can see some people maybe not wanting to be around him because of that. It's like, dude, like, you got to sort of play the social game sometimes and just like humor people a little bit more sometimes. But you know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get the real Kimi.
How's your motivation? I mean, we can't do an
I
interview.
still-
Can't do an interview without asking you.
Good question.
17
It's
years.
still as bad as always. I always struggled with it.
Interesting.
I'm never gonna get it back, but I don't
man,
think
I
if
mean,
I have
seriously.
if I never had it or ever had it even first place, so that could explain a
Is
lot.
that the thing?
And probably I never had it, so.
Interesting. He's never had motivation, or he's never felt motivated. Sort of what I was picking up on earlier. It feels like F1 was just kind of one of his passions, and he happened to be good at it, and perhaps he just does it because he enjoys it, as opposed to doing it for the laurels and the accomplishments. Again, everything that I'm sensing from this guy, he's not looking for that approval. So I wonder if he does care to win the champion. Maybe he does just because he's just naturally a competitive guy, but I don't know if it's necessarily for the fame or the glory of it all.
You never know. Obviously, with their health, that's the main thing, and there can be things that forces you to do something else. But that's the plan, and then we see. No plan.
Thank you so much for all your questions, Kimi. Thank you for your
Thank you.
time.
No
Enjoy your
problem.
last two races with Ferrari.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait to see you at Sauber. Thanks, my man. Cheers.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to see more. I'd love to see some interviews with Kimi when he's with people who kind of piss him off or he doesn't really like. You can tell there's a little bit of a rapport there with that guy. He kind of liked him. I think if Kimi likes you, there's definitely a charm about him. He wants to joke around with you. You know, I think that's obvious. If he likes you, it's obvious. If he doesn't like you, it's probably pretty obvious as well. Guys, as always, if you want to watch my uncut reaction and analysis, you can go straight to my Patreon page. I've included the link in my description below. I've also got all my other uncut F1 reactions down there. definitely want to check out some more guys, more interviews. So please let me know if you're feeling these. I appreciate you being here. My name is Max. I will catch you soon. Peace.